Hey, shalom, shalom. Call all Yabashim Yahshai, Bahaba Kakadash. Double honor side apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth, sincerity. This is a GMS. I would say antiquities or prophecies. This is something I was going over, and I thought it'd be a nice little archive for those who may have, not come across the breakdown. So I wanted to go into Zechariah chapter 1, in particular, verses, I believe it's 11. Slaka is chapter 1, verse 14 through 21, okay? So we'll get started. In Zechariah 14, 1 and 14, it says, So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus said the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they help forward the affliction, And the reason why I want to start here, because first off, this is going to be a disclaimer that the Lord is only dealing with Israel. This is another concrete proof, and why it is concrete proof, because this is a prophetic statement, and it's showing that the Lord is only dealing with Israel, and he names the heathen and separates them, because as it says, and they help forward the affliction, okay? And they do it to this day. It says, Therefore, thus said the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry yet, saying, Thus said the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Okay? So the Lord says he's going to comfort Zion, and he will yet choose Jerusalem. It's not no spiritual Jerusalem. This is talking about Israelites, okay? It says, Then lifted I up mine eyes, and saw, and beheld, and behold, 4 horns, okay? And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? Okay? Because horns is also known as governments, okay? You go into... see here, Abaratazar lets me go into it. So when you go into Revelation and it talks about the horns, and you'll know that in Revelation, those horns is talking about governments and kingdoms, okay? Pursuant to Revelation 17, the 17th chapter, okay? See here. It says, Revelation 17 and 12, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Okay, so there's your proof that proves that horns are relative, to kingdoms, okay? So going back into the precept in itself, those 4 horns. Okay, well, now what are if those 4 horns are 4 kingdoms, what are those 4 kingdoms? We're going to finish this and we're going to get into that, okay? It says, it's like I don't know why it does that. See here, start at verse 19, it says, And I said unto the angel, talk with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns that which have scattered. Slaki, I started at 18. It says, Then lifted I up my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Remember, the Lord said he got a problem with the heathen for the affliction that they pushed, okay? Ultimately, they went overboard, okay? And the Lord showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. Okay, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. Okay, so the carpenters are angels. Okay, the angels, as the scriptures tell you, they hold back the 4 winds and different things of that nature. Going through the prophecies. So it's proven that the Lord can raise these kingdoms up, and He could bring these kingdoms down. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get that. Going to Samuel's. So 1 Samuel chapter 2 and 6 says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bring low and lifteth up. He raises up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he set the world upon them. Okay, so this is proof that the Lord, even He says in Romans chapter 9 that He raised Pharaoh up. So that shows that the power that these kingdoms have is all through the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay, so once you get into that aspect, that's pretty much what it's saying. So these 4 horns, the 4 kingdoms, are in not Revelation, but connection to Daniel's, the book of Daniel's, dealing with the statue or the dream that King Nebuchadnezzar had. Okay, so in Daniel's chapter 32 and 44, it says, this image, this image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay, which thou sawest, till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. Okay, and that stone is talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's which ultimately is going to tear down that whole statue. Proving that the Lord is going to take down all these kingdoms and ultimately lift up Israel. Okay, as He said early in the chapter that He will lift up Zion and bring them back to the land of Zion, land of Jerusalem, and give us back in our rightful position. Okay, and in order to do that, you got to tear down what was already established there, or what was I can't say reestablished, what was plagiarized there. Okay, by the false philosopher Jews. Okay, because we're the real Israelites, we're the real Jews. They're the Jewish. Okay, it says, then was the iron, the clay, and the brass, and the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no man was found of them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the power of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. You see? So that shows the Lord is the one that gives the strength. And whosoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven have given into thine hand, and have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. So it's talking about Nebuchadnezzar, being the head of gold, and so on. You know what I'm saying? For as much as iron breaketh in pieces, Salakia, I jumped down too far. I start at 40, and it says in the Salakia, I started back at 30, and I'm not going to rush it. It says, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath He given into thine hand, and have made thee ruler over them all. Okay, because when the Lord lifts someone up, he ain't going to do it halfway. He going to give them true dominion, man. You can see how Esau's, ruling over this world. Okay, he has dominion over the animals. Look how many animals he's destroying and wiping out. Animals are actually in fear of this guy, man. Because of the terror he's reigning on planet Earth. But that time is soon to change. Okay, was actually in transition right now, man. Okay, it says after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over the earth, over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, keep that in mind. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it the strength of the iron. And the iron is pretty much Rome. Okay, so going from head to toe, the brass is Babylon. I'm slacking. The gold is Babylon. Okay, and then once you work your way down, then you go to the Medo-Persian Empire, and then you go to Greece, and then you go to Rome, and then you go to today, which is America. Okay, and as the apostles bring out a valuable point, the further you go down in the metal, it gets lower in value from gold to iron mixed with clay, but it gets stronger in material all the way up to Rome. Okay, but the iron mixed with clay is just a mixture, because America is just a reincarnation of Rome. Okay, all right, it says, but there shall be in it the strength, there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as we saw if the iron mixed with the miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Yeah, and that's Babylon to this day. Okay, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Okay, just like they try to integrate everybody, but everybody's not together. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever, which is talking about what? New Jerusalem, okay, which is the kingdom was within us. But the Lord is saying he's going to reestablish Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and we shall beat our swords into plowshares, okay? So when you hear Esau saying that, everybody's going to make it and pushing that agenda, they're trying to upset prophecy. They're trying they can't upset prophecy. I'll tell you what they're trying to do. They're trying to take your desire. They're trying to take your soul to make you believe in something different. Okay. They'll give you a different name, a different person, a different belief system. Because if you start calling on the Heavenly Father and you start praying for his will to be done, and he said, asking you shall receive, man. So if you're asking for the wrong thing, as James said, if you ask amiss to consume upon your love, he will not answer your prayers. So if you're going to against the Lord's will and you asking for it, he's not going to answer, and you wonder, do the Lord hear me? As Esau with this sick mind game that he plays. Okay, so I want to get into this article. Well, it's not an article. You can pretty much type it up in Wikipedia, and you find 4 kingdoms of Daniel. It says the 4 kingdoms of Daniel are 4 kingdoms which, according to the book of Daniel, precede the end times in the kingdom of God. You see? So they know, but they're not going to tell you that the kingdom of Yahweh is going to consist of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They'll just add a twist to say everybody can get in there. Okay? So there's a paragraph in there. I'm not going to read. I just want to make the connections and just, clear it up just in case whoever read it, that just make it easier on the mind, okay? In Daniel's 2, which is what I just read earlier, it says in chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar dreams of a statue made of 4 different materials identified as 4 kingdoms. Okay, the head of gold explicitly identifying as King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. Okay, 37 through 38. Okay, the chest and arms of silver identified as inferior kingdom to follow Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, that's the Medial Persian Empire, because when you go into the 4 beasts in Daniel 7, it talks about the bear and it rolled over on one side. And if you know about the Babylonian Medial Persian Empire, you know, pretty much the Persians and the Medes kind of swayed back and forth. But then you had Nebuchadnezzar, King Darius, you had Cyrus, you know, so it just smoothly transitioned from one side to the other. Okay, it says chest and arms of silver identified as an inferior kingdom to follow Nebuchadnezzar. The belly and the thighs of bronze, a 3rd kingdom, okay, which shall rule over all the earth. And that goes into that leopard, okay, that leopard, which is Greece with King Alexander the Great, okay, and he came and took down who? Darius. That would solidify him as being the man, okay. You can read about it in historical accounts, and if you don't feel like reading historical accounts, you can watch it in the movies, man. It's pretty accurate, you know. I can't say it's 100% because, of course, it's dramatized in movies, but at the end of the day, you can see that scene being reenacted, okay? It says legs of iron with feet of mingled iron and clay, interpreted as a 4th kingdom, strong as iron, but the feet and toes partly of clay and partly of iron. It shows it shall be divided, a divided kingdom, okay? And the house divided shall not stand for one. And we can see that Babylon, which is America, which is that kingdom that's mixed with iron and clay, because it took on the spirit of Rome, but it's still divided, okay? So when you go to Daniel chapter 7, in this same breakdown, it says Daniel chapter 7 has a vision of 4 beasts coming up out of the sea, and is told that they represent the 4 kingdoms. Okay, a beast like a lion with eagle's wings. You could call it the Sphinx, okay, or whatever. You know that, on the gates of Babylon they had that same animal. Okay, so it's a beast like a bear, raised up on one side with 3 ribs between its teeth. Okay, yeah, it raised up on one side because one side ruled and the other side ruled. It was never like a war. It's just a transition of, it was 2 kingdoms in one, and one will raise up and then the other will raise up. Okay. And it says a beast like a leopard with 4 wings, a fowl, and 4 heads. Okay, because that them wings, man. Alexander came swiftly, man. Okay, and when he was doing his thing, he had that leopard's head or the leopard's fur on his head, man. Okay, it says a 4th beast was with large iron teeth and 10 horns. Okay, and those large iron teeth was what to devour, and that the iron teeth was that Roman army, man. Okay, as I said, as the inferior the metal goes, the stronger the metal gotten, and that's the stronger the military power was as they went further down into prophecies. Okay, and then you also, they try to throw, Daniel chapter 8 in there, but that's mainly talking about Alexander the Great, man. Okay, just as apostles always say, man, you mean the Lord, these pivotal kingdoms happen in the world, and the Lord forgot to write prophecies about them? No, he didn't, man. Okay, but they'll tell you that it's everything but that, because if you make the connection, then you read the prophecies that this statue shall be broken in pieces via through Yahweh Shai, and he shall deal with Zion. You're gonna put 2 and 2 together, man. Same concept of not allowing a slave to read. It's the same concept that they're doing with this. Okay, so yeah, man, I really I wanted to share that, man, going into the 4 horns, just to give those who needed a smooth transition on what it means, and hopefully this helps. All you got to do is you can do your own digging from here and just gather information and it all connect from here. Okay, this is just pretty much the foundation of Zechariah chapter 1, verse 14 on down to the end of the chapter. Okay? So hopefully this was edifying. I want to say, call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kadash, double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed citation to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth, sincerity. Hey, shalom.